Latest to Campaign 2014 now. Election Day has finally arrived. We're learning of a surprise in the race for Providence mayor. As we first broke last night on WPRI.com, Republican candidate Daniel Harrop says he will be voting for his Democratic rival, Jorge Elorza.
Yeah, in a statement to Eyewitness News, Harrop says he wants to keep independent Vincent Buddy Cianci from returning to City Hall. The Providence mayor's race is going to be one of the most closely watched contests in the day ahead. There's no doubt about it, as Cianci looks to claim the city's top job for a third time.
This is really national news. Eyewitness News reporter Brian Yukono has a preview live with the Providence Mobile Newsroom.
Yeah, good morning. This race for the mayor of Providence really has received national attention, primarily since Buddy Cianci announced his formal bid just over 4 months ago now. We have certainly heard from each of those candidates on their individual visions for the city of Providence, from development on the waterfront, from Cianci's campaign to Jorge Elorza's vision for community-based school facilities, and also Republican Daniel Harrop's view that the city needs to go into receivership to get a fresh start. Eyewitness News political analyst Joe Fleming explains that turnout in Providence likely will be higher than usual, specifically because of this race that, in turn, he says, could unexpectedly impact statewide races, also those bond issues, simply because more people likely will take the time to vote.
Normally in a Providence mayor's race is decided in a Democratic primary. This is the first time in like 20 years the general election is going to make the decision. And obviously when Buddy Cianci is in the race, it really ups the ante for everybody.
Now, Fleming also talked to us about the ABC movement, Anybody But Cianci movement, which he says could increase turnout as well. And the fact that, as was mentioned, Republican Daniel Harrop now saying he is voting for Democrat Jorge Elorza simply to block Cianci speaks exactly to the strength behind that movement. Now, obviously, the campaign for governor of Rhode Island continues today, but today on Election Day, it takes on a bit of a different form. We're talking about that coming up in 30 minutes. For the Providence Mobile Newsroom, Brian Yukono, Eyewitness News.
Some important things to keep in mind for today. Polls in most communities will open at 7 a.m. Polls close at 8 o'clock tonight in both Rhode Island and Massachusetts.
Here in Rhode Island, voters are required to present a valid photo ID to cast a traditional ballot. And coming up at 6 a.m., we'll have a preview of the gubernatorial races in both states. And you can count on Eyewitness News for the most complete election night coverage.
We'll bring you live updates tonight every half hour beginning at 7 o'clock tonight, followed by live wall-to-wall coverage beginning at 9 o'clock or earlier if events merit, right here on WPRI 12.
You can also see updated election results for every local race as they come in at WPRI.com.